Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today, you wanted to take a closer look at Maravai LifeSciences Holdings based on some information you sent over.
Yeah.
You're looking to quickly get a handle on what's going on with them. So let's just jump right in.
Sounds good.
We've got a collection of some recent stock analyses, some technical insights, and a company overview,
Yeah.
including the recent performance and financial health.
Uh,
The goal is to kind of synthesize all this and give you a clear picture of what's happening.
okay.
So to start, what exactly does Maravai do?
So they're a life sciences company that provides critical products for the development of vaccines, therapies, and diagnostic tools.
Okay.
They operate under several different brands,
Like what?
like TriLink Biotechnologies, Len Research, Cygnus Technologies, and Alphazyme.
Wow, so they've got their hands on a lot of different things.
A lot of pots on the stove.
Okay, so through these brands, they offer a range of products then.
Right. Think complex nucleic acids, specialized enzymes, and antibody-based products.
Wow.
They're really a key behind-the-scenes player supplying essential materials and know-how that fuels a lot of the innovation in the biotech and biopharma industries.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing here, it looks like right from the early stages of drug development.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. You also flagged some significant volatility in their stock price.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like there was a notable drop of around 7.56% just on March 19th, 2025.
Hmm.
What seems to be driving this recent downward pressure?
Well, several factors seem to be at play here.
Hmm?
Concerns about the company's leadership and some issues with their financial reporting are likely contributing to this recent dip.
Okay.
Looking back over the last 6 months, the stock price has been very up and down, and there have been some less than stellar earnings reports.
Yeah, not good.
And if we zoom out further to the past year, the decline has been more substantial. This seems to be at least partially linked to some ongoing legal challenges and problems with their financial disclosures.
Yeah, that can really shake investor confidence for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's dig a bit deeper into those financial results then.
Okay.
We have some details from their fourth quarter and the full year of 2024.
Yeah.
Looks like they reported an adjusted loss per share that didn't quite meet what analysts were expecting.
Right.
What's the story there?
So the reported adjusted loss for the fourth quarter was 0.06 cents per share, which was indeed below analysts' forecasts.
Okay.
Their gross profit margin stood at 41.8%. But their revenue saw a year-over-year decrease, falling from $74.1 million to $56.6 million.
Oh, wow. So that's pretty significant.
Yeah, it is. And, this drop in revenue could indicate weakening demand for their key products or increased competition.
Yeah, that would be critical to look at when you're assessing their future.
Absolutely.
And it seems their financial position overall has some complexities, particularly with debt.
Right, that's a key point. Their total debt is listed as $431 million.
Okay.
Compared to total assets of $1 billion, this indicates a leveraged financial situation,
Right.
meaning they have a significant amount of debt relative to their assets. And this can create vulnerabilities, especially if they face further revenue declines or if the economic environment becomes more challenging.
Right, so it would make them very susceptible
Exactly.
to any kind of downturn.
Yeah, it means a larger portion of their earnings might be needed to cover interest payments, potentially limiting their flexibility for things like research and development or navigating unexpected downturns.
Makes sense, and I see here that they also postponed the release of their Q4 and full year 2024 earnings.
Yeah, that's right. Because of identified issues with how they were recognizing revenue and assessing goodwill.
Yeah, that kind of delay raises eyebrows for sure.
Definitely not a good sign.
So speaking of warning signs, the information you shared highlights some specific areas of concern. Let's start with the securities fraud class action lawsuit.
Okay.
What are the allegations there?
The lawsuit alleges that the company made false or misleading statements about their financial performance and that their internal controls over financial reporting were inadequate. Yeah, these are serious accusations that can really damage a company's reputation and, as we're seeing, negatively impact its stock price.
Absolutely. And connected to that, there's mention of a significant error in how they reported their revenue. How can an error like that affect the overall picture?
Well, a significant error in revenue reporting can have a really widespread impact.
Yeah.
It not only misrepresents the company's past financial performance, but it casts doubt on the accuracy of their financial statements and the effectiveness of their accounting practices moving forward.
Right, so it's hard to trust anything they're saying.
Exactly. It erodes trust and confidence from investors.
Definitely. The last major red flag that was mentioned was their leveraged financial position.
Okay.
That high level of debt we talked about, what are some of the potential risks associated with that?
Well, As we touched on, high debt can make a company more vulnerable to financial distress. If their revenues decline further, or if interest rates rise, they could struggle to meet their debt obligations. It also reduces their financial flexibility to pursue new opportunities or weather those unexpected challenges.
Okay, so there are definitely some serious issues that potential investors need to be aware of.
For sure.
However, to get a complete picture, what are some of the underlying strengths that Maravai possesses?
Well, despite these challenges, they do have some positives. Their innovative products are a significant asset.
Like what?
Well, their CleanCap mRNA capping technology, for example, it's really a key factor in their leadership within nucleic acid synthesis, which is a rapidly expanding field.
Okay.
Now, this technology is at the forefront of some exciting new developments in medicine.
That's good to hear. And they have a range of different areas that they operate in through these various brands, right?
Precisely, their diversified portfolio of recognized brands brings together expertise in things like biologics, safety testing, a really broad spectrum of nucleic acid products.
So that diversification does offer them some stability then?
Potentially, yeah. Even if one segment faces headwinds, the others could potentially offset that.
It's also worth noting that they've received some recognition for their growth in the past.
Yeah, they were previously included in the Deloitte Technology Fast 500, which, indicates a history of innovation and rapid growth. Although their recent performance suggests they've moved away from that trajectory for the time being.
Okay, now how is the market currently viewing Maravai given all of this information?
Right.
What's the general feeling around the stock?
It seems like there's a pretty cautious outlook from both recent news and the limited analyst input available.
Okay.
The ongoing legal and financial disclosure issues are definitely creating a sense of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And public sentiment, particularly on platforms like X and Reddit, appears to be generally negative, with a lot of focus on those concerns about their financial health and leadership.
And what's the situation with formal analyst coverage? It sounds like that's a bit unusual.
Yeah, it's somewhat unusual. They don't have traditional direct analyst coverage from major firms.
Oh, wow.
Instead, their stock is statistically matched with similar peer companies for rating purposes. This lack of focused analysis could be contributing to the stock's price swings, because there isn't a consistent stream of in-depth research and recommendations coming out specific to Maravai.
Got it. Let's switch gears slightly and look at what the technical analysis might suggest.
Okay.
Even though the data in our sources has some inconsistencies, we do have a 52-week price range and some figures on trading volume.
Right. So the 52-week price range shows a low of $4.52 to a high of $11.70.
Oh, wow. So big swings.
Yeah, highlighting that volatility we've been talking about.
For sure.
The average daily volume is around 2.1 million shares, and recent volumes have been a little bit higher, around 2.7 million,
Okay.
indicating a moderate level of trading activity.
And what about those commonly used technical indicators like moving averages and the RSI?
Well, generally, if a stock's average price over a shorter period is higher than its average price over a longer period, some analysts might see that as a positive signal, at least in the short term.
Okay.
The RSI, or Relative Strength Index, is another tool used in technical analysis. It tries to identify if a stock might be overbought, suggesting its price has risen too sharply and could be due for a pullback, or oversold, indicating it might be due for a recovery.
No. Okay.
However, our sources don't provide the specific current values for these indicators from Maravai. And there's also that inconsistency in the reported stock price within the information you shared.
Yeah.
One source mentions around $9.13, while another suggests $2.27.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, this makes any technical interpretation highly speculative at this point without more reliable and up-to-date data.
Okay, that makes sense. Finally, there's a really significant discrepancy in how the stock's value is being perceived.
Right.
Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, this is a really important point that really highlights the uncertainty surrounding Maravai.
Okay.
We see a recent stock price of around $9.13, but then there's a Morningstar fair value estimate way up at $84.91.
Whoa.
Yeah, while at first glance that might make the stock look incredibly undervalued, it really reflects just a high degree of uncertainty about the company's future prospects.
Given all the issues.
Exactly. And to add to the confusion, another piece of Morningstar data actually suggests the stock is trading at a significant premium.
Wow, so these are some seriously mixed signals.
Yeah, very mixed signal.
Yeah.
It really just highlights the deep disagreement and lack of clarity about what Maravai is truly worth right now.
Okay, so putting it all together, we can see a pretty complex situation with Maravai.
Absolutely.
We have a company with innovative products in a sector with a lot of potential for growth.
Yeah.
But they're clearly facing some significant challenges related to their financial reporting and just the market's confidence in them.
For sure.
That huge difference in valuation and the ongoing stock volatility really point to a high level of uncertainty.
Right. This situation brings up a really crucial question for you as you're trying to make a decision.
Which is?
How do you weigh that potential for innovation against the very real financial and legal challenges they're currently navigating?
It's a tough one.
It is. And what level of risk are you comfortable with in a scenario like this? It really emphasizes the need to look beyond just the surface numbers and really understand the underlying issues.
Absolutely. Well, we hope this has given you a helpful overview of the information that you shared on Maravai LifeSciences Holdings. If you found this insightful, please subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks for listening.